Hello and welcome. As you probably guessed, I am MotherAzure, but you can also call me Maria. I am back again with another pick a card, and this one is going to be just a simple uplifting message. It's probably not going to be as long as my other readings because I just want to keep it short and encouraging. So I do want to talk about something before I get into the piles, because I think this could be a message for several people that are going to be choosing different piles, so I'm going to mention it. I was trying to do this video last night, but my computer had some issues and I record my audio in my computer, so I couldn't do the video last night. But before I started doing the video, this happens very often to me, that before I do a video I get songs just playing randomly in my head, songs that I haven't heard in a long time, so I usually pay attention to them. So the song that came to mind last night was Sorry by Beyonce, and I do want to mention it because I feel like, especially the poem in the beginning, some of you may relate to it right now, especially if you were in a relationship and that relationship fell apart because your partner cheated in some way, because that's basically what the song is about. If that resonates with you, I would definitely recommend listening to her song if you haven't already, or to listen to it right now again if you did already, because it may have some messages for you right now that you didn't notice before. And also, today, before I started doing this reading, I got another song, which again I think is important to mention, which is Cover Me in Sunshine by Pink and her daughter Willow Sage. So that one fits more the theme of this reading, but I don't want to disregard Beyonce's song that came to mind, because I try to pay attention to it, because sometimes I just disregard things and then they're a message. So I do want to make that clear. So let's get into the pile. So for pile 1 you have Fluorite. For pile 2 you have Rhodonite. And for pile 3 you have Orange Calcite. Hello, happy pile 1 with the Fluorite. This is your reading. So you got the Four of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Queen of Pentacles. And then for your Oracle, I only pulled from 2 decks for this reading. I'm going to get another card from another deck later, but I'm going to shuffle that on camera. So you got Water Your Garden, Nourishment, Body Care, Tenderness, and Rest. Then you got Surrender to the Sweetness, Venus Energy, Pleasure, Joy, Make Love to Life. You also have Star Family. You're part of a team of souls, call in support. And then you have Jump In, Andromedan Energy, Adventure, Say Yes to Change. Okay, so I want to mention something, because right before this reading, I have an alarm set. And it's my only alarm that has any type of sound, okay? But it just started. I usually don't do readings at this hour of the day. It usually tends to be later. So I wasn't expecting my alarm to go off, and my alarm is the song Adore You by Harry Styles. So considering this is here, and literally all of this, I feel like it's part of the message, so that's why I'm mentioning it. So that song, it's kind of like the universe telling you to let it bring you gifts, because you know what I'm seeing here with these so I guess it's the uplifting message, like the universe has some things it wants to give you, and they're not lessons this time, because with these cards you got 2 number 4s. Okay, so 4 is a number of stability, because the Four of Pentacles and the Emperor is also number 4. It's a number of stability, in my opinion. I usually interpret it in that way, even if it's just perceived stability. But right now I feel like you are moving from a period of perceived stability, and when I say perceived stability, it's the way you think that you're stable in one moment, but then you realize that something is not aligned or non-harmonious, and then you try to fix it, or just if it doesn't serve you anything, you get rid of it, right? Because then you're moving on to the Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles. To go from the Four of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles, it's a huge upgrade. So that's the first thing. You're getting a huge upgrade this year. You may be an earth sign, or you may have important placements in your birth chart, especially because the Queen of Pentacles, if I'm not mistaken, is Virgo. I could be wrong though, because I know that the King of Pentacles is supposed to be Taurus. So this is more Virgo or maybe Capricorn energy. And if you know about astrology, we just had a new moon in Capricorn. So this is a year of the grind to you, I would say. And if you saw the message in the beginning, that song from Beyonce does have something about grinding in there. You're interrupting my grinding. So I really do see you here. You may have had like you took time. I really do see you here taking time to heal and to make space for your emotions. That's exactly the word, like the sentence that came to mind right now. So you made space for your emotions, and if you haven't been doing that recently, this is your sign to start doing it again, because this has really taken you towards a more stable future. So I see you right here in between these two energies, okay? Because these two energies, even though they're different cards, I see them both as very stable and secure, okay? The Emperor is Aries energy, so considering where it is, like the position of it, I do see this more as like a present energy. So ooh, okay, hold on, something's coming to mind. So you see how here the Emperor in the tarot is like the one of the male archetypes of like divine masculine or yang energy or whatever you want to call it. But in tarot, the other part of this archetype, of this masculine archetype, is the Hierophant, but you got the Emperor. The Emperor is more grounded in the physical, and I feel like with you taking care of your emotional needs, which is usually associated with yin energy or divine feminine energy, it's mostly associated with that. Now your more yang energy and your masculinity, like your masculine energy, you don't have to be a man. It's just this energy of being active and being more ambitious and moving towards your goals, because the yang energy is more about action, while yin energy is more about being receptive and receiving, right? It's more about being open and, just flowing in. Like yin energy flows in, yang energy flows out, okay? So because you took care of these emotional needs, or if you will, it's gonna depend for everyone. It's a pick a card, but it's still, general. This other side of you feels more supported and safer coming up to the surface. So you may be feeling extra confident. You will probably be getting a boost in confidence soon if you haven't already. And I see you moving on to this, because even though, cards in tarot tend to be either a man or a woman, I would say that out of all the minor arcana, I see the Queen of Pentacles as the most stable and secure within herself. You don't have to be a woman, okay? So I want to see that. So I want to see that. I want to say that. I want to see that. Who the hell? So the universe is like, I want to see that. Get to it. I know you want to do it. So if you have been planning on starting a business and you have been putting it off, I definitely see it taking off here. Like, if this is about a business, take it as it resonates. If you have been thinking about it, launching your own business, just leaving, just starting a new career path in some way, it is more than likely that it's going to be successful, because I see all of this here. But you really have to step up into your leadership energy right here, okay? This is not about, it's like be active now and then be more receptive to receiving later. You need to act. So that's the balance of both energies, You need action to go after what you want, but then you also need to be open to receive, reap what you sowed. That makes sense? So that's also about this Venus energy right here. So because you see like the difference in energies, right? These two will be more turned inwards, more taking care of my emotions, more attending to what it is that I need, more about being open to receive what the universe has in store for you. And this one is more about action, because it says jump in. So if you were questioning something, like this is a sign, to get to it, especially like this card right here. It's someone, I don't know how well you can see it, but I'm just gonna say it. It's someone right here jumping it looks almost like it's supposed to be water, but it's a galaxy. So you may be moving on to, you know how they have that, if you are on TikTok, it's possible that you came across it, that they told you, they were saying like, before you go to sleep, you say, I intend to wake up in my best possible timeline. And then when you wake up the next day, you're like, I am now awake in my best possible timeline, or something like that. That's the kind of energy I'm feeling with that here. So if you have been doing that, you know, it's paying off. But I would say that the most uplifting part of this message, you know, if what has been going on before hasn't exactly been uplifting, is this one, because you have Star Family. And considering the song that played before, it wasn't supposed to, because I never do this reading at this time, so I'm taking it as an omen, even though I hear that song every day. Star Family. So I feel like, considering these cards and how it's presented, this is just you, okay? So it doesn't mean that there aren't, let's say, business partners or people around you, but there are times where I feel like you could have been feeling isolated, or alone, or like you didn't have the help you needed, or like the people around you were there but you were still lonely. Like there are beings, like maybe possibly your ancestors, because I'm really seeing in this Four of Pentacles, I don't know if you can see that, but the person in this Four of Pentacles has an earring with the rune Othala. I don't know how to say it. I'm so sorry. But that rune represents kind of like inheritance, and I think it means land in some way, but it has to do with family and things that are passed down within your ancestral line. So this could be coming from a good chunk of ancestors, if I'm gonna be honest. But it's like, even if you don't see us, we are here. That's interesting how it came up, because it came up in the first person. So I'm taking that as I'm actually seeing someone wearing a suit. It's a black suit, and like the little pocket has, you know how some people, like how men sometimes put, it looks like I know, is it a handkerchief? I don't know what it is, but it looks red, and I'm simply seeing that as like a whole black suit, including the vest, but the shirt is white, and I'm not seeing a tie, which is interesting. I don't know if that's where you take it, because I'm not sure of what I'm seeing exactly. I don't know who that is. I can't see their face either. So, but it's like, even though at times you may feel alone, you still have these energies around you, and they're actually saying, like, if you try to attune to the energy around you more, you are 100% going to feel them, because they are around. And I feel like they're saying something very specific, so this is going to resonate only for a few, maybe one person. Maybe you have started recently to put out offerings for your ancestors, or I'm seeing pictures, so I don't know if you got pictures of people in your family hanging all in one wall, like just people that came before you, you know, just in one wall, and then you go there and you like almost like talk to them, or when you come back from going out, you're like, hello, I'm back, or something like that. That's coming up. So if you've been doing that, they know you're doing it, so that they see you, okay, and they're very happy that you're taking the time to do that. Because I'm seeing that actually very clear. There's like a wall with pictures. It could be also metaphorical, in the sense that all of these people in your family are there for you and they are watching over you. But I'm seeing it more literal, so I do want to say that. So I'm gonna get one Affirmator card for you, because these cards, they never fail to make me smile, because they're so funny, and they're actually really uplifting. So I do want to end your reading here with a more I don't know, in a positive way and in a funny way. It's really a great deck. They're affirmations, obviously. So can you please have one? And also, I did say that the thing about going to the business, but even right now, that doesn't mean that you can't be open to receiving right now. They're actually telling you this because they want you to be open to receiving. We do have that Venus energy. So it says to surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy. Venus is more about harmony and acceptance and peace and all of that. So they do want you to be open right now, because like I said in the beginning, I do feel like they have some things for you. But you need to be open to receiving them. And they're actually mentioning that if you want to receive something, you need to let go of that tight grip that you have on it, because holding on too tightly to it, like in this Four of Pentacles, it's more about control. And you receive best when you have your arms open. How are you going to receive something if you're holding a pentacle so tightly to your chest, right? How are you going to hold anything else? Does that make sense? That's what's coming up. Because even here, like the Four of Pentacles is holding that purse to her chest, but you have the Emperor just sitting there and in a very open position. So yes, he has his legs crossed, but he is his chest is open. And the Queen of Pentacles also has her legs crossed, I believe, but the pentacle she's holding, she's not holding it too tightly to her. She's holding it, but it's like, I have it because I created it, but I'm not afraid to lose it, in the sense that she knows, like the Queen of Pentacles knows that there's more where that came from and she can create more. So you actually got two, but let's see you got two. Okay, so we have interesting, because this one says pleasure and joy, and then you got joy. It says joy. To enjoy something, I simply need to add joy to it. Joy is like butter. I can put it on anything and it'll make it way better. Today, I will add joy to everything, really slather it on. Today, I hate that I can't say this name. I am the Orville Redenbacher, maybe, of joy. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. I'm so sorry. And life's popcorn is about to get it. I love this. So remember how I said you were receiving things? Yeah. It says good things to come. There are so many gifts coming my way. I can see them now because I respect the general convention of not peeking under the wrapping paper, but they will show up when the time is just right. And that's when I'll remember how much fun it is to be surprised. I mean, you saw me shuffle on camera. Like, I know that some people, they feel weird about the cards being, pre-picked. But I've started to try to incorporate more shuffling into my readings. I don't have enough time to do the whole thing because it actually takes me a long time to shuffle. But you saw me shuffle that. You like, how perfect is that? Huh? I mean, and also they want to say that your finances, if you're afraid, like I was talking about that before, like if you're afraid of losing money, because maybe you think that if you do have something that you want to invest in, maybe you're thinking about, you're doubting whether it's a good idea because there's risk in doing it. This card of good things to come, the wrapping paper is covered in eyes, and if you know the Nazar, I believe that's the name, it's like protection from evil eye. So I do see your finances being protected, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I think that makes sense. I don't even think I have to explain this because it's just confirmation of everything I said. So that's all I have for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Thursday at 12 p.m. EST and occasionally on Sundays. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do all my updates about the channel over there, and I also post readings occasionally. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo, my Cash App in my description down below. It is never expected, but it is always very appreciated. I wish you the best of luck on your journey and much love to you. Bye bye. Hello, here with pile 2 with the Rhodonite. This is your reading. So you're actually, I didn't notice that you only got 2 cards. I usually, when I pick out the cards, which it's just shuffling and me just putting cards in like 3 piles. Like I just put them in 3 piles. I try to make sure that everyone gets kind of like the same amount of cards, just to make it fair. But I 100% didn't notice that you don't have 3 cards, which is weird for me because I usually go back and count, like without looking at them, because I don't like looking at them. I try to count, like, do I have how many do I have? Okay, we're good. I didn't notice that, but I don't think you need another card because you have the Ace of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. I will get into that later. I'm just going to say the rest of them. So then you have Messenger, Serious Energy, bringing harmony and balance. Double Mission, Lightworker, Starseed, Serve the world by being you. Then you have I Remember, Soul Plan, The Fated Life versus Destiny Life. And lastly, you have I'm Sorry, Defenselessness, Righting Past Wrongs, and Uprooting. If you saw the beginning, I talked about me hearing the song Sorry by Beyonce in my head yesterday before I started doing this reading. Yesterday, because I couldn't finish it yesterday. So you maybe, if you didn't watch the beginning, what I said was that I kind of channeled that song. So if you want to listen to Sorry by Beyonce, go ahead and do that, especially the beginning, which has a poem that she's just reciting, okay? So I would say that the most uplifting message that I have here for you is this new beginning here, because the Ace of Swords, aces are always good new beginnings, but you have the Wheel of Fortune, and the thing in numerology specifically, when you have a number that has 2 digits, you reduce it to 1 digit. So what you do is kind of like, if you have, let's say 15, you go 1 plus 5. Here you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is number 10. If I go 1 plus 0, it's 1. So that's why 10s are associated with endings, but also new beginnings, because when you reduce it, it's a number 1, right? So the Wheel of Fortune is about change and closing of an old cycle, beginning of a new one, okay? But the thing with the Wheel of Fortune is that you don't really know where it's going. However, I do have to say here that you know where you're going with this new beginning, because of this Ace of Swords. Because this Ace of Swords represent the mind. They also represent communication. But I tend to see them, especially with this type of imagery, I see them as the mind. So it wouldn't surprise me that you have been trying to manifest a change in your life of some sort, a new beginning of some sort. And if you did, well, congratulations, because you're getting it. So that's, I guess, like the most uplifting part of it all, that what you did worked. So I'm seeing here that if you were been trying to manifest, you probably went through a lot of different ways to manifest this, and you hadn't found your way specifically, because there are like so many different ways to manifest, but some of them work for some people, and then for some people, for other people, they don't really work, because you really have to think about what resonates with you, and I think that you found that thing, and that's why this is coming. If you have been listening to like solfeggio, is that the name? Like those frequencies, which I'm not even sure what they are. I've just heard about it. If you have been listening to those have definitely helped. If you are not listening to those, I would recommend doing your own research in terms of this, because I'm not gonna suggest something that I'm not exactly sure what it is, because I'm not an expert. It's just coming to mind. If you want to look into it and decide that it's good for you, you can 100% go ahead and do that, because that it's coming up as a recommendation here. For some reason, it's coming up with that. So hold on. With this Ace of Swords as well, you know how air is a very kind of flowy element. The element that flows the most is water, but I would say if I had to pick all the elements, like the second element, like right after water, that flows pretty well is air. You know how many different types of particles and gases are in the air, right? So whenever you want to trigger a change, they're saying like, change your mind first, and then you will trigger change in the world. If you can see this from a spiritual point of view, you can see this from a psychological point of view. It doesn't matter what perspective you look at it from. Changing the way you look at things makes the things you look at change. That's like, either because you change your perspective and you don't see things the same way you did before, or because you change your perspective and you actually change things that are no longer serving you in some way. So that's, I feel like that's a tip for like further for the future, like if you keep manifesting like that. So when something is not going right, they're telling you to kind of go, they're saying right now, like, kind of go within, and instead of looking for the answer outside of you, like the answer to what's going, like what's not working. Instead of looking for the answer outside of you, turn inward. That's not to say that everything that happens in your life is your fault, to be honest, because I don't think that's true. It's more like, if you're like, I don't know what's wrong, I don't know, like something doesn't feel right, but I don't know what it is, instead of going like, do you see it, like going to a friend, like, do you see anything weird in my life, like, or like using your tarot cards all the time, or like going to divination or going to readers, they're actually telling you to look for guidance inside of you, because deep down, you just have to like ask yourself and really listen to what comes up. Because right here you have the light worker starseed here with double mission and the messenger. I really do feel like you have psychic abilities, but maybe you're not completely in tune with them, which same. we all have issues with that. So sometimes it's just really hard to get to that, but you do receive messages, and especially here with this card, how it's presented, I'm thinking that a lot of the messages you receive, like when you give advice to other people, a lot of what you say also applies to you, but it's like you're channeling for someone else, but you're also getting messages yourself. So pay attention to what you're saying, or to what other people tell you, because the universe, your guides and all of that, maybe they don't communicate with you as much through signs, like number synchronicities, or like animals, or maybe they do, you just haven't been paying attention to them, because sometimes, to be honest, it does get annoying to see all of that, and you're like, what the fuck does that mean? So they're gonna be trying to reach you through other people, or even through the messages that you channel yourself for others. That's really interesting. That's very specific, so take that as it resonates. I would say that the best aspect of this reading right now here is that you are manifesting this. You did your healing. You did what you were supposed to do. You most likely even healed from a past karmic situation. It could have this could relate to another person as well that you were dealing with, but not necessarily just it could be just anything that was like a karmic lessons for you. And it's like they're saying, now you did that, like that was part of it. It wasn't in vain. And now you can move on to the life that you're supposed to have, and that's why you're able to manifest right now, because sometimes in order to manifest a specific life, we have to go through some lessons. That's not always the case, but sometimes there are things that need to be sorted out before you get to the life that you want. You know how the thing with it's coming like with the Gebo rune. If you don't know what that rune is like, even with the Wheel of Fortune, like I even see this with the Wheel of Fortune. You know how the wheel turns all the time? Like every decision you make for something is a decision against something. So there's always gonna be, like, if you really think about it, it's like this butterfly effect. Like you may choose one thing and it's like, oh, I missed this opportunity because I made this decision, but then when you look at it, you got another blessing from that same decision. So it's like that's kind of like the nature of life. When you decide for something, there's something that you technically, it's not like that you lose it, it's just that you didn't decide for it, and that's fine. It's not that, I don't think truly that there's a bad decision. Like there's always pros and cons within a situation, and they do want you to remember that. But it's like you're moving towards the life that you were supposed to have since the beginning, because whatever things you needed to sort out before moving on to this life that you were meant to have, because we do have that soul plan right here, you did like what you had to do, and now you're on the way to this. That's not to say that the journey is gonna be smooth, just sunshine and rainbows, although it might be. But they want to reassure you that you are on the right path right now. That's very important, that you are on the right path, and you are kind of like at this, you're like on, I'm seeing, they're showing me like, the Fool card, where the Fool is like right at the edge, like right there. You're like right there. Okay. So let me get one of these Affirmator cards for you. These are very, very uplifting in and of themselves. So I love using this deck. It's so beautiful. So again, these are affirmations. So if you want to say them for yourself, when I read them, you can just, go back, write it down, whatever you want. So let's get to it. I'm saying, hold on. Pay attention to things that fly over your head. That is so weird. It could be like, you know how some people like use planes or like jets or whatever it is to write messages in the sky. Like they usually just write Jesus loves you, which if you're a Christian, that may be for you. Like, to be honest, I don't know. But pay attention to that, because sometimes they may make shapes. Maybe looking at the clouds, like you may do, like there's a type of divination that it includes like looking at the clouds, or paying attention to birds, or just for some reason that's coming up and I don't know why. But take it as it resonates. Let's get one card for pile 2. I want you to be patient with this, because I feel like you feel like you have been at this, like at the edge for a while, and you haven't, like, for some reason you haven't made the jump to the other side yet. They're telling you to be patient though. Like everything is gonna happen, and it's and when it's supposed to, like divine timing. Divine timing is sometimes very annoying, because it's like it's gonna happen when it's supposed to, and you're like, yeah, but when the fuck is it supposed to? Like, I mean, the universe sometimes likes to test us. To me, I mean, it tests me every day. Let's see, you got one card. I don't even see what it is. It says, everyone's a teacher. Oh, remember what I said about the karmic one? This is it. Everyone I cross paths with is a teacher in that moment. The ones who give me the fun lessons are the ones I call friends. The ones who give me the hard lessons I sometimes call a-holes. They've chosen a tough job, but someone's got to do it. So today I'm thanking all the a-holes. Thank you, a-holes, for playing your part in making me a better person. How perfect is that? Like, it relates to this so hard. So I like that it mentioned friends, because sometimes when you think about karmic lessons, you think, oh, someone that's gonna come in and fuck up my life. Like, some of these lessons, they could come from people that really do love you and they're not trying to hurt you. Like, just their presence is a lesson to you. You may learn something from them. So don't, like, if you think back to your past, I kind of channeled this before, but I didn't mention it in the beginning. Like, sometimes unfortunate things happen to us in life. And it's hard to look at them as anything else. Like, it's hard to look at them in a positive way, because, I mean, they hurt and they weren't fair. But a big part of healing is to be able to look back on those things and actually see the positive sides of it. Not because what happened was good, but let's say that after that, what did you do that was good? What did you learn from that? It's to see, like, even if that situation was bad, later on it could have triggered your behavior so you could be good. So let's say that you have a really difficult childhood and your father is just really like a bad person, right? But let's say that from that, even though you suffer through it and it's an unfortunate situation and it's painful and it's not good, let's say that after that you kind of promise yourself that the day you have kids, you're not going to treat them like that. So you learn how to parent. You actually research. You do the research and you say, oh, this is what he did wrong. I can't do that. Let me look at what the options are. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not saying that the situation was good. And I never want anyone to like fall into this toxic positivity. It's like, oh no, just laugh through it. I'm like, no, be angry, be sad. But I think it's always beneficial to go back and look at anything good that came out of the situation, even if the only thing that came out of the situation that was good was the fact that after it, even though it hurt, you healed and you became a better version of yourself. Or maybe because of that happened, then something in you changed, and say that you are now nicer to other people, or that now you become like an activist for mental health, or whatever it is. Just even if it's one thing, you can look back at it and see what the good thing is, because that's going to give you a different perspective on what happened, and it's probably going to help you move on from it as well. Okay, so that's very important. I love that message in and of itself. It's so beautiful. So, oh, I didn't even notice, like, this is a rhino and this is a mouse, but the rhino has like has a watch. So what I was saying about divine timing, maybe you went through or you're currently going through kind of like your last lesson before you move on to this. We're always learning, but before you start moving on to this new path, this new life that you manifested for yourself, this is it. It's basically what I said here, but it's, and also the divine timing, I'm seeing this in like your left hand, which the left hand I believe is associated with receiving. So it's interesting that they're calling my attention to that, but you will receive something. You just need to be open to receiving it, like, you know, be like like this, but allow it to come in like when it's supposed to, because sometimes when there are things that happen sometimes and you're like, I have no idea what that means, or like, I have no idea what purpose this has. And then 7 months later, you're like, oh, that makes sense now. I don't think there's anything like bad timing. It's more like when you're ready to have this thing or understand it or really be able to appreciate it now that it, you know, maybe before you wouldn't have been able to appreciate this new thing because you were in a different perspective back then. Not that it was bad, it was just different, okay? And now you're able to appreciate it more and you're able to enjoy it. Makes sense? So that's all I have for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Thursday at 12 p.m. EST and occasionally on Sundays. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do all of my updates about this channel over there. And I also post readings occasionally. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo and my Cash App in my description down below. It is never expected, but it is always very appreciated. I wish you the best of luck on your journey and much, much love to you. Bye-bye. Hello, if you chose pile 3 with the orange calcite, that is your reading. So these are, you got the 2 of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 5 of Pentacles, which is, I was going to say that is like a very interesting combination of cards, but I already know what they mean. Then you have for your Oracle, you have, you're not for everyone, embrace your weirdness, face your true north. Then you have baby steps, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. You also have the Seas of Mentaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. And the last card that you have, which is probably one of my favorite cards in this deck, is Lifting the Veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. So I am not reading these as past, present, and future necessarily, unless it comes up that way. You know what I'm seeing right here? You know, let's do something real quick if you're willing to do this with me. I want you to take your right hand, your left hand, whatever hand you want, put it on your shoulder, kind of like hold your shoulder, and your other hand put it around your stomach, so like kind of like holding about your ribs like that. Give yourself a self hug, please. Interestingly enough, our nervous system is not exactly sure when another person hugs us or when we do it ourselves. So this is like a sign of love for yourself. So please do that. It feels actually really nice. I've done it before. So if you're willing to do that, take a couple seconds, maybe a couple minutes if you want, and just do that for a moment. Just take some time with you, because you've been through a lot, like a lot. Interesting that this is the 2 of Swords, because I swore this was the 8 of Swords for like a second, but let's look at this. So it's supposed to be an uplifting message. And the first thing I want to say is that you've done like a fucking great job. You've been through a lot. And I really do see that struggle here, but I also see you moving on to something better. Because you have these and these, all of these cards, they are about something, in my opinion, they're about someone turning their back on something that doesn't serve them anymore and moving towards something new that's more aligned with them, especially with the Seas of Mentaka here. Even if there isn't a person, it says seeing potential. So I see you here with this healing from there's a lot of self-criticism, I think, here, and I'm seeing like how do I explain this? It's kind of like self-doubt and maybe not seeing exactly how capable you are of certain things, and this is not your fault, by the way. I see you healing from that. there are a lot of things in your life that, especially recently, they may have fallen away, or maybe they have been doing that for some time. And when I say falling away, I mean like situations that you were in, they kind of stopped working. Maybe you were in relationships with other people, you know, just romantic or friendship, and they didn't work. They ended up falling apart. And the thing is that it's kind of like you are starting off on a kind of like almost a clean slate. Is that the saying? I don't even know. It's like, now that happened, or it's finishing, you know, that part of getting rid of things that don't belong in your life anymore. Even if the universe did that job for you, to be honest, it's I feel like it's very likely that instead of you removing people or just things from your life because they no longer play a role in it, it's more like the universe did this for you. And there's a chance you were kind of confused, and maybe you thought you were the problem, or like maybe you thought that you did something wrong and that's why these people left. But it's like, it's not exactly you. It's like, it's more like the universe did it because they weren't good for you. They were a bad influence, many of them, and others of them, they simply, it's not that they were bad people. It's more like it's like the point of development they were in their life was not good for you, because they couldn't see, like they couldn't. Here's the thing, everyone is at a different point of development. Like, let's say emotional development, just your intellectual development, even though we are kind of almost there, like not everyone has the same perspective, not everyone has like the same I would say not the same level of development. It's not that you're better than anyone or that other people are better than you. It's just different. Like, people are different, right? And sometimes it's not that they are bad or that they're trying to say things to hurt you, or that it's like they generally don't realize that what they're doing is not good for you, because that's the way that they think, and that's the way they think everyone else thinks. That's a lot of think in one word, in one sentence, but you know. But regardless of whether they did things maliciously or not, or if maybe this was like a job environment that it stopped working, or maybe you left the job or whatever it is, it doesn't matter if whatever happened was good, bad, or neutral. Is that it simply wasn't playing a positive role in your life, and that's why it's gone. So I say that you're almost starting off from zero, but you aren't exactly starting from zero, because we have this Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles in this deck, it's kind of like, it's a pentacle, obviously, but it has roots. It's almost like a and it has like a little, like few leaves up here. So it's almost like a seed kind of first sprouting from the ground, right? So it's something that's kind of, it's like in the beginning, but it's not at zero. It's like in the beginning stages. So I feel like whatever it is that you have in your life right now, like, take a look around. This, maybe you don't feel like it's enough. Maybe you don't feel like it's fulfilling enough. But these are the things that you have in your life right now with which you can start off a completely new life in a harmonious way. And when I say a harmonious way, I mean in a way that you are in alignment with yourself and with what you truly want, right? So, and if something is not the way you want it to be, you have the ability to change it. And if you need more of something, you can get more. You can create more. You can attract more, okay? Because that's the Ace of Pentacles. It's a new beginning, but this seed can be propagated. Like, when the plant grows, you can create, like, you can plant more plants from that, you know, more seeds from that. So it's like, this is the starting point for you, but with this starting point, you can create so much more. Okay, I do want to acknowledge this Five of Pentacles right here. Maybe you feel like I said that you don't have enough, or like whatever it is in your life is not exactly like whatever is in your life right now. You kind of feel left out in the cold, like you there's this lack mindset, but like you have this key right here, like you can open this door. Like, you feel like this door, whatever this is, you can't do it, or you, like I said, you don't feel able to do that, but you have the key right here. It's just a matter of getting up, getting the key, and opening the door. Does that make sense? So this could be like opening the door to your happiness, or like in terms of your finances. Maybe you're someone who's gonna find some type of joy in what you do, but something you do physically, because the pentacles are more like a physical manifestation of things. So I this could even relate to like health, or it relates to the body, like the physical body, the money, just physical tangible things, in my opinion. So there's like a lot of yellow in this card, so I do want to mention that maybe you have like an imbalanced solar plexus. I'm even wearing yellow right now, so I do too. But you may want to look into that, see if you fit like the symptoms of like an imbalanced solar plexus, and do something to fix it, because solar plexus, it has a lot to do with our self-confidence, and the self, like how you view yourself. And I feel like the only thing you need here, it's a little more confidence in yourself, and to see that you are capable and that you can do things for yourself, that even with this one seed you can create a lot. And I want you to see that even if you are the seed, maybe you feel like you can't make a difference, or like what you know isn't enough, or any of that. No, you can do this. Like, this is an amazing starting point, in my opinion. So I'm gonna get one more card here for you. And also, like, you don't have to rush. We do have those baby steps right here. And this one, oh, I forgot that it says you're not for everyone. Because usually when I'm doing these readings, I have like a bowl of water right here. I'm usually looking at it, or like looking at the viewfinder. Like, I typically don't even look at the cards when I'm doing like the channeling, because I show them to you, but I more so pick up what's coming through. Like, I do look at the cards, but when I'm done looking at them, I just look elsewhere. I don't stay looking at the cards. With the You're Not For Everyone, again, with what I mentioned about people living your life if they weren't, like, simply say, like, well, maybe we didn't, like, maybe they were people that you cared about at some point, but like I said, it reached a point where where like they weren't making you happy anymore, or maybe they weren't happy with your presence, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're bad or that they're bad. It just means that, oh, you got 3. Oh, mother. Okay. Let's see. But like, what's in the past, leave it in the past. If something isn't aligned, leave it in the past. Just move on, because there are new things, and you can, like I said, you can always create more. You can always receive more. Okay. So you have generosity. I give generously to those around me, no matter how much or how little I have. I know there is more than enough to go around, and that the key is to allow it to keep going around without stopping. If I stopped the flow, I'm like the one person at a stadium who doesn't do the wave. Oh my god. Okay. Then you have power. I am strong, I am grounded, I am powerful. I'm like a cross between a dinosaur and a tank, but not a tank that is used for war. I am like a peaceful, loving dino tank who feels so strong it doesn't need to do anything but be. I love that so fucking much. And then you have playfulness. I am a playful participant in life, and I always have the option to make something a fun game rather than a heavy burden. Mary Poppins put sugar in the medicine for a reason. That lady really knows how to party. I love this. These cards are so amazing. Okay. And you know what? I did mention this in the beginning, where I kind of channeled before this video. Cover Me in Sunshine by Pink and Willow Sage. That's her name, I believe. It's actually coming up to mind right now. So maybe that song, if you didn't watch the beginning, you would like to listen to it. It's such a beautiful song. Okay. So, I mean, I feel like this is very self-explanatory. If you want us to repeat these as affirmation, you could just go back and listen to me read them again. Even though I fuck up sometimes, sometimes I don't like. Sometimes I fuck up when I'm reading. But this is very interesting, especially with the 5 of Pentacles, because the 5 of Pentacles is like this lack mentality, and this card talks about more of a growth mentality, or like a abundance approach to life, because it's like there's enough to go around. There's enough for me, there's enough for you, there's enough for everyone. So And sometimes I do this thing where when I have a reading in front of me, I look at the cards that come before this one and after, but especially after. And I do want to mention it that after the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles is more this energy. So it's almost like you got the Six of Pentacles afterwards, and it's even yellow again. So if you change that perspective you have towards even relationships, they just said that even if it is not related to money, like relationships are a physical thing that we have in like the physical world. Maybe you feel like that these relationships that fell away, maybe you endured these connections even if you felt bad. Again, doesn't mean they are bad people. It's more like maybe they were hurting you, they didn't even notice it, but you stay there because maybe you felt like you were supposed to stick by them no matter what, or that you wouldn't have other people there for you if you let them go, like they were the only thing that you had, and the universe kind of took that from you, and you were feeling like maybe it was your fault, or like maybe you did something wrong. That's not the case. It's more like they weren't doing anything for you anymore. So the universe kind of made that fall away, but also because it wants you to learn two things, which I think that you're in the process of that you are enough on your own. Like you don't need other people to be happy. Specifically, relationships are super important, but let's say that if you are expecting to be happy because of other people, or that if you think that you can't feel happy with yourself unless you're surrounded by people, it's like that is not exactly the truth. If we want happiness, we have to find happiness within ourselves, because if we don't, it doesn't matter how many people we have around us, we're always gonna feel lonely, right? And then the other thing is that if something falls away, if something doesn't work anymore, if something leaves your life, there's always something else that can come in. It's not like these relationships that maybe you lost, or like just that are out of your life right now, it doesn't mean that there are no more of those. Like there are more coming in. It's more like, oh well, if this didn't work, there's a reason why it fell away. What's next? Like, you know, it's kind of like seeing this as looking at the bright side no matter what. And even though that's like very difficult, and I'm not saying that you can't be like angry or sad about it, not at all. It's more like be angry and sad about it, but there's something that I watched this video from Green Renaissance, and there was this woman that I don't even remember what the video was, but she was like, if you're angry, be angry. If you're like, or something like that, and she said, be angry but get it over with because life goes on, right? So it's like feel your feelings, allow yourself to experience them, but don't let them take over your entire existence or your entire life forever, because they're just feelings. Okay, they are important, yes, but only the bad feelings are not the only feelings that you feel, right? They're not the only feelings for you. When people say feel your feelings, people think about sadness or maybe anger, but that also means feeling happiness and feeling capable and optimistic. That also means feeling your feelings, right? So I don't even know. It just came to mind right now to look into the properties of this stone. This is orange calcite, so maybe look into that, see what it's good for. I don't even know. Like these are not my crystals. They're not even mine. They're my mom's. But actually, I want to get interesting. I want to get one of these for you. I didn't do this for the other groups, so it's interesting that it came to mind right now. But I will. Noise alert. Let's get one for you. Ooh. Made with love. I love this. Okay, so I got made with love, which that's always like there's enough love within you to go around for yourself and for other people, and vice versa, you know, from other people to you. You then got this Aries zodiac sign, so maybe you could be an Aries. But this is my favorite charm of all. This is from like a pen that I had once. But what the pen said was, "I will succeed, guaranteed." And it's very, it's like with this Six of Mintaka card, it's like instead of staying in the past and what didn't work, it's like look to the future with a in an optimistic way, but like stay living like in the present. Like, it's like be present, but when you look to the future, don't look at it with anxiety. Look at it with as much joy as you can, because it's like, instead of seeing it as, oh my god, I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, it's more like I wonder what good things are gonna come tomorrow, or I wonder what new adventures I'm gonna be able to do like tomorrow or next week or next year. But with I will succeed guaranteed, it is also a message like from the universe that you are not, if you're worried about failing, if failure is something that's very difficult for you to handle, the universe is like, yeah, no, you're not, like, everything is gonna be okay. That's what this charm represents for me. It's like, it's the ultimate optimism here. It's more like believing in yourself no matter what, and believing in being able to get a good outcome no matter what happens, okay? Which sometimes we have to be like, we have to have a healthy dose of realism, but it doesn't mean to be pessimistic all the time. It's to see things as they are, and see if you're prone towards thinking about the bad stuff when a situation could be neutral and you're just interpreting it as bad. The future is not good or bad, it's just neutral. So see if you have a tendency to look at the future in a bad way, meaning that maybe you look to the future, like I said, with anxiety. So you could technically, maybe something bad could happen, or something that made you sad, but something that makes you happy could also happen. So it's like seeing like these thoughts that you have automatically, see where they're coming from and correct them sometimes, because sometimes not that they're necessarily wrong, is that they make you feel anxious for no reason, and like, we don't really know what the future holds, right? And that's not necessarily bad. There are surprises, right? There are some surprises, and I do see that here. Okay, so that's all I have for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you feel called to, because I do put out new videos every Thursday at 12 p.m. EST, and occasionally on Sundays. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want. I do all my updates about the channel over there, and I also post readings occasionally. If you want to buy me a coffee, I have my Venmo, my Cash App in the description down below. It is never expected, but it's always very appreciated. I wish you the best of luck on your journey, and much, much love to you. Bye-bye.